It's Game 6 of the 2022 Rare Air Challenge as the Air Force Academy Falcons take on the Chapman University Panthers. Hello, everybody, from the Cadet Natatorium. I'm Jeffrey Orman. Chapman University ranked number 9 in Division III going into the competition this weekend. This will be the 24th meeting between the two schools, and Air Force has a commanding 22-1 advantage. Eric Plossel in his 15th season as the head coach of the Panthers, and the two top scorers that we'll be looking at today will be Everett Prushak and Ryan Bauman, 14 and 15 respectively. A win today would give Air Force a 5-1 record for the tournament, 6-1 for the first 7 games of the homestand. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a look at the starting lineups. First of all, for Chapman, here is how they will deploy. Ben Blatt will be in the goal. He is a freshman. Number 4, Hudson Pack. Number 6, Tommy Richards. Number 7, Dylan Gallegos. Number 12, Nate Randolph. And, of course, the two that we just mentioned, Everett Prusak and Ryan Bauman. He'll be in the center position. Eric Plossel, B.J. Plossel, and Garrett Armstead are the coaches for the Chapman Panthers. Now the starting lineups for the Air Force Academy Falcons. He is 5-0 when he has started for Air Force. 1A Lucas Smith. Number 2 Grant Snyder, 9 points away from 100 points for the season. Then it's number 4 Ian Christie. Jake Dixon, who led all scorers in the last game against Laverne. He had 5 goals and 2 assists. Jake Dixon will be wearing the number 5 cap. Jackson Carter, number 9. Cole Copperrood, number 10. And Kaito Ham, number 15. We do have one addition to the Air Force Academy roster, and he may get in. He did have an assist, I believe, in the last game against Laverne, and that is number 25, Fisher Pruitt. Ryan Brown, the head coach of the Air Force Academy Falcons in his 5th year. Alan Huckins, Rich McBee, Brett Fogelberg are the assistants. Coming up next, the opening sprint between Air Force and Chapman. You are watching Air Force Water Polo. This is Falcon Vision. Back once again at the Cadet Natatorium here at the United States Air Force Academy. I'm Jeffrey Orman, along with our Falcon Vision crew, Nick Arseniak, our Sports Information Director for Water Polo here at the Academy. And we are just about set to go, as the Falcons, of course, moving from left to right. Final game of this Rare Air Challenge, and we'll turn right around and do the Rare Air Invitational, which will start on Friday. 7th game of a 12-game homestand for the Air Force Academy Falcons. Probably one of the longest homestands that they have had in a very long time, if not in school history. Here's the opening sprint, and looks like we're going to get a jump ball right off the top. Well, it is a pleasure to welcome our guest commentator back, Joe Sabo. Joe, I thought they were going to have you working today. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good.
Well, we've been given some stats on some of the players that could be hitting some milestones.
And who would that be?
Well, I'm going to take a wild guess. He wears number 2. He's about 9 points away from having 100. Pretty good goaltending performance in the last game. There's a shot.
What a shot on number 2, a rare sniper.
He seemed a little surprised that went in. Snipe from the outside, put in the cross cage.
Joe Sabo, our guest commentator, cadet third class, got a little playing time today. How'd that feel for you, my friend?
It was pretty fun. It was pretty fun. In that experience, in those reps, that's always a good thing.
Absolutely. And you're on the winning end, too. So the Falcons jump off to a 1-0 lead, of course, against Laverne. They jumped off to an 8-0 lead.
His exclusion on number 5, Jake Dixon.
We hope we can get this game finished in a hurry, Joe, because I know you got a 6:30 a.m. exam tomorrow.
Oh, yes. And that's not just me. That's a number of other guys on the team as well.
There's a pass that's off the hands of Chapman. They got 7 seconds. They go down low. There's a push and a shot and a score.
Those last couple seconds in a 6-on-5, when you get even, those are always the most chaotic. You never know when the shot's coming, and that one seemed to come from set pretty fast.
Well, if they gave the goal to number 5, that is Daniel Cavish, and we are now tied at 1. We have an addition to the roster, and Fisher Pruitt know very little about him. Joe, what do you know about this young man?
He's a nice young freshman on the team, getting some experience. It's great to see him out on the bench.
I think he had an assist in the last game, if I'm not mistaken.
Indeed.
So he's fourth classman. We've talked about him, and it just continues. 1-1 is our score as we play the final game of the tournament.
Jeff, I think you missed it. There was an exclusion. Now it's 2-1 right now.
I missed a lot, Joe. We're all getting a little punchy up here.
Yeah, it's been a long weekend.
Yes, sir, it has. Chapman trying to take
Long
the lead,
lob.
but they won't do it on that one.
Luca's been pretty good with protecting those lobs. Oftentimes, those are the hardest shots to get.
All right, here come the Falcons. They'll
Cross
try to
pass,
go ahead.
Advantage. See his shot.
And that's
nice. Good counter by Cole Copperwood.
Gold Copperwood giving the Falcons a
3-1 advantage.
3-1 advantage. And now massive substitutions coming in for the Falcons.
Air Force is looking to put this game away pretty fast, but Chapman is coming out with a mentality that they can and will win this game, so we'll see how this turns out.
Sixth goal of the year for Cole Copperwood. We are in the opening stanza here at the Cadet Natatorium at the United States Air Force Academy. From Rare Air Challenge to the Rare Air Invitational. There's a shot.
Dang. Luca got up for that kind of slow. He seemed to lose him behind a defender. That can sometimes happen if you're not ready and up big as a goalie. Looking over your defenders, you could sometimes lose the shot before it's already up in the air over you.
3-2 the score now in favor of the Air Force Academy Falcons. Ian Christie. A danger to let it go from just about anywhere in the pool.
Number 8, Jacob B, pumping down the goalie.
Jacob Yee, that one is a
shot
partially
block.
field block, and that's going to go over the goal. And here comes Chapman with an
White
opportunity.
has a little bit of a man advantage right now.
Let's see if he's going to let go. He is. There's a skip shot and a score, and we are tied.
3-3 right now.
Another shot, number 15, Ryan.
That counter can sometimes happen, even if the other team is slower than you. If you're watching the shot right off the offense, like Jacob was watching his own shot, and maybe some other Air Force players were, they could beat you down the pool. So that's something we've worked on, making sure we're countering to defense. We're playing safe.
Once again, here's Ian Christie drawing some attention. Back down to Jacob Yee on the right side of the pool. Now he'll fall back on defense. As you mentioned, Joe, they want to get off to a fast start. Let's see where this goes, and that
Great
one goes
finish.
upstairs. Nice
Number
shot.
18, Colin Chase. A big force from the freshman class. He's proven to be a very, very good player for our team. (4-3) right now. Chapman starting with the ball.
Colin Chase
And a
with
great steal by number 2, Grant Snyder.
Well, let's see if he can finish it. Colin Chase had his 12th goal. Let's see if number 2 can finish it. Start to finish. He gets the
3-on-2
steal
Man
and flips it
advantage.
to the center.
One more
He-
pass, and there it is. Let's see it.
Bang. Oh, they had it. There it is.
Bang. That's something Coach Brown has been harping on us for, making that one more pass. Sometimes you could make the shot earlier off, but water polo is all about percentages of shot likelihoods. And when you make that one more pass, you just up your odds even more.
So it's 5-3 in favor of the Falcons. This has been the biggest lead they've had so far in the contest. 4:23 left to play in the first quarter. Jeffrey Orman along with Joe Sable here at the natatorium at the United States Air Force Academy. Final game of the Rare Air Challenge. 7th game of a 12-game homestand.
Offensive drawn by Grant Snyder. Sometimes those can be called as simulation, but he managed to get it off. Jacob Yee barreling down the pool, counting off his man fast, and barely not sliding in. Those bar downs sometimes don't go in. When they do, look like they went in.
So here we go the other way. 5-3 is the score. That one just barely missed. Trying to get down low, may have a possible one-on-one. He's going to try and do it. And he
Good.
throws it right to Luca.
Good movement by Chapman, but it doesn't matter when Luca's there to lock it down.
Here's Ian Christie to lead the assault.
He's often been the point man from that number 4 spot with his long passes. He's very precise with his passing, helps out the team a lot.
So then he wants to go down low.
Drawn exclusion by Larson Windu. Larson McCarroll, a great addition to the team. He's been here for all 4 years. A lot of experience on the team.
There's a shot.
And a nice shot
There's
from
a
Ian
shot to
Christie.
score.
Pocketing it in the cross cage.
Ian Christie with the goal. And we talked about this before, Joe. As soon as the Falcons get an opportunity to go 6-on-5, they don't waste a lot of time taking a shot, do they?
No, we don't. Coach Brown has told us a lot. If you have that open shot early on, oftentimes the defense is not ready for it, and you could see it right there. And it was a couple seconds, but they were not ready for that shot from Ian Christie.
Who scores his 38th goal of the 2022 season. And here come Chapman. Lucas Smith clears.
Great steal by number 3, Dylan Sinclair, with a fast crash. Big part of defense is the transition between crashing down on set and pressing. And you saw there he managed to get down on set and steal it before anything happened.
Cole Copperrood waving that ball around like he wants to let fly, but instead he'll throw. Out to Grant Snyder, back to Cole Copperrood. Shot, skip shot, and a beauty.
Offensive by Sam De La Cruz, I believe. Sometimes they call those push-offs at set.
So that will wipe out a very nice skip shot, and they'll hold at 6-3 with 2:16 left to play in period number 1. Falcons trying to go 13-4 on this 2022 campaign. 5-1 in the tournament, 6-1 in the opening 12-game homestand. There's a shot that's going to go wide.
Sailing wide. I've talked about this the last game I announced, but a big part of the goalie's contribution is the pressure blocks, and Luca really helped with that. But unfortunately, that's a turnover on the pass. to Jacob, looking for the man up.
Chapman Panthers trying to cut this thing down to 2. There's a shot, and it hits the side of the cage, goes out of play.
Another pressure block by Luka right there. You saw he covered most of the cage, so when they did shoot it, they were forced to shoot it to the upper corner, which they didn't manage to have the precision for in that shot.
Panthers keeping it close at 6-3. This is the biggest lead for Air Force so far in the match. Here's Ian Christie. Let's see if he'll let one fly. He will.
Damn.
And goes wide right.
Real close. Difference between a goal and a missed shot right there is only a couple inches when you're shooting cross pass, or cross cage rather, hitting the bar.
Well, the Panthers trying to line on offense. 53 seconds
Turn
left to go in the
inside and
first break.
exclusion on number 10. That's why you got to keep your hips up on defense. Make sure they're not able to reach down, grab your suit, grab around your waist.
So we're going to take a timeout. It'll be Chapman that calls it as the Falcons lead it by the score of 6-3. You're watching Air Force Water Polo. This is Falcon Vision. I'm Jeffrey Orman along with Joe Sabo here at the Cadet Natatorium at the United States Air Force Academy. Quick check of the scoring stats. Grant Snyder with a pair. Cole Copperrood has a goal. Ian Christie with a goal.
5-man defense for the Falcons. They're pretty comfortable with it, but we'll see if we're able to lock them out.
There's a shot in the corner. Well placed, and it's now a 6-4 game. Ray Kamangoli with the score for Bulldogs. We've talked about it throughout the tournament, Joe, or not throughout the tournament, but certainly beginning last night about the fatigue factors. 6-4 is the score.
Yeah, this is the 7th game of the weekend for the Falcons, and the first game obviously starting out with that Navy game, one of the hardest fought games I've ever seen, so it's definitely setting in, even if it's not apparent immediately.
Nice
Great backhand by number 2, Grant Snyder. Unfortunately, the goalie was right there, hit his face or something. Those aren't very comfortable.
That is Ben Blatt who made the stop. And they try to convert.
5 seconds left. Falcons are looking to scramble for a shot.
Oh, that's going to be
It's
a
a
little
turnover.
bit long. They try a backhander from a long distance away. Nothing doing at the end of one. Falcons lead at 6-4. You're watching Air Force Water Polo. This is Falcon Vision.
with grades.
It takes grit.
It's for the I never quit students, the relentless, persevering, most likely to keep trying until I reach my best students.
Because we will go on to lead others, push boundaries, save lives, and represent American ideals.
If you've got what it takes, prove it.
Back once again at the Cadet Natatorium. We are about ready to start the second quarter of play. I'm Jeffrey Orman along with Cadet Third Class Joe Sabo. Listening to Eric Plasso, the head coach of Chapman, and apparently he would like to see more pressure put on number 2, Grant Snyder, talking about the double team, talking about the help side, and we'll see how the message took.
Indeed, it's a little hard not to overhear when he's yelling at his whole team right here. Feels a little cheap, but it's great insight for us as announcers. They're looking to put double pressure on Grant Snyder as he's one of their biggest scorers, as well as capitalize on the counterattacks. Really make sure that they can capitalize on Air Force's mistakes and to beat them when they're not paying attention, rather. Because this is more of Air Force's game, their initiative. So we'll see. It's up. The pressure's on Air Force to play. Make sure we get it down. And there's a great cross pass. Not quite finishing position.
Seeing Christie. Let's see what happens when they find Grant Snyder. He's got the ball now. There's the double team. They try to take him down under.
Air Force was asking for a little bit more than just a normal foul from that. Big up by Grant Snyder. And you notice they had one shot blocker in front of him as well as 2 shot blockers at the corner of the cage and the goalie in the center. Really trying to cover down on Grant Snyder. The offensive from Chapman, not sure exactly where.
Well, let's see if
Air
the
Force
fact
is now up right now.
Falcons need to take advantage. There's a shot. There's a score. Ian Christie, he has scored the last 2 for the Falcons.
Over this next year, as Ian transitions from his junior year into his senior year, he's looking to be like one of the stronger forces and wiser forces on the team to help contribute to this younger roster.
Ian Christie will be back for the Falcons next year. Falcons lose 3 seniors on this 2022 team. And it's 7-4. We got some real action going down that center position.
Dropping back, the Falcons are looking to help center.
Skip shot, no. We talked about one of the people that we're going to be focusing on for Chapman. It's number 15, Ryan Bauman. He is the center for the Panthers. And we've had a nice little do-si-do down there. Here's Ian Christie on the right side, waving that ball around. Is he going to let fly? It's going to be knocked away by the goalie, Blatt. And the Falcons will come on the attack once again, or rather the Bulldogs will, Panthers, somebody, Panthers will come.
Panthers.
Bulldogs, Panthers, Lions, Tigers, Bears, oh my. Here we go.
Flying around. Yeah, like you said, number 15 for Chapman seems to be taking most of their shots as well as putting in a lot of work at set defense. Seems to be taking a lot of minutes for Chapman.
And the Falcons take it away. The clock expired. And we've seen that quite a few times today, Joe, or rather this weekend.
Yeah, that's just the Falcons' defense really showing up, and it's pretty obvious when you see the entire clock from the enemy's shot clock go down the drain.
I'm telling you one thing, the Panthers are down by 4, but this is a tough unit, a field block, and as they try to throw the ball the length of the pool, that'll go into the right
pass
corner.
By the Chapman goalie. You really want that in their hands so that you could use that that counter, but now they have a 6-on-5 drawn by another driver.
That's going to give the Panthers an opportunity. Trying to work the right side of the cage. Let's see if they try to go down low. I would anticipate that. Instead, they go to the top. working that ball, trying to be patient. There's a shot and a score, and they hit in the corner.
Wrap around right under Kaido, number 15, Kaido Ham's arms. Sometimes it's really hard to get those shots when shot blockers get wrapped around like that.
Daniel Cavish with his second goal of the match, and it's now 7-5. I think the goalie Ben Blatt calling out the D right now.
Drawn exclusion by number 10, Cole Copperwood. Great movement. That's the kind of movement we like to see when we're being pressed hard on the outside like that.
Jacob View with a touch. Off to Ian Christie. There's a shot, there's a score.
Beautiful
Well
movement.
executed.
Ian Christie to number 5, Jake Dixon. They, in fact, played together in high school. I believe the high school's name is Drake. Northern California water polo makes some really good players. We have some other Northern California water polo players on our team. And you can see that chemistry really playing out there, Jeff.
Good ball movement, and it culminates with a score, and it gives the Falcons a 3-goal lead. Again. Good defense being put on, a little bit of pressure. They draw the foul. 4:49 before the intermission. They may get a look here. Nope, he's going to hold up. There's a shot knocked away by Lucas Smith.
Good on Jackson for staying with him and applying the pressure, making sure that shot is not in the upper corners or coming too hard at Luca where he can't get to it or might have harder time getting to it. Right there, he easily batted it away.
There's there's a steal.
Great steal by number 4, Ian Christie.
Oh, they could have an opportunity. Nope, the
Sliding a
goalie's
little
going to
bit
come
too
out.
far.
Blatt's going to come out, pass a little bit on the long side.
Coach Brown has been telling us about how it's a lot easier for the balls to slide really far in these long passes at the natatorium. You could see that the pass from Luca sliding way past one of our countered offensive players.
9 seconds on the shot clock. There's a shot knocked away by Luca.
That was looking like it was going to the upper corner, but Luca getting up big, almost all the way to his Speedo, reaching out with his long arms, batting that down in the water next to him.
There's Bruce Kim getting a touch. Back to Ian Christie. Ian, looking. There's a long rebound. Shot is missed, but the rebound comes right back into the hands of the Falcons. Down low they go, double team, and a night. I think that was a no-look shot right there.
That was Jake Dixon showing his strength, really putting in the effort with his legs as well as his arms to power through the defenders and push the ball into the cage over his head and over the goalie's head.
Jake Dixon, who had 7 points in the last game, 5 goals and 2 assists. He said, I know that goal's there somewhere. Flip, it's in. You got to love that. That should be his first goal of the day, I believe. Or second, we're getting a correction now. And the Falcons with a 4-goal lead.
Comfortable, but not enough. I'm sure Coach Brown and the Falcons are looking to widen this lead a little bit. Maybe get some more players some experience.
Big run would help right about now, but the Panthers just will not go away. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Looking to wind fire, and that hits the side of the cage.
It's a bar out right there.
You know, I think, Joe, just watching the tournament, I think the goals have made a lot of saves in these matches that we've been seeing.
That is true, and you'll notice as the field players get more tired, shots tend to seem to be closer and slower to the goalies, so those goalie saves really rack up. And there's a great turn inside from Jackson Carter right to Colin Chase as he just sidearms, puts it right in the cage, almost through the goalie's mitts.
Well, you don't get style points, folks. It just counts if it goes in. 10-5 lead now for the Air Force Academy Falcons. Trying to get a little run started here. Right now they have a 3-goal run and a 5-goal lead. Well, I'll tell you what, there is some action going down in that center position. They have really been. There's a steal by Air Force. Nice takeaway there.
That's a great way to get some turnovers on defense. When you start splitting the defenders in between players, players sometimes aren't keeping their head on a swivel when they don't see defensive players coming at them to steal it.
They continue to work down low. Well, we might see another no look, but such is not the case.
Looked like Jackson Carter was looking for exclusion on that one, but with that second man coming in, it's a little hard to get the call from the referee.
Head of the field are the Panthers, and they lose the ball. It's going to be a turnover to Air Force. 1:36 left to play here in the first half.
Great pressure by number 18, Colin Chase. That was looking to be either a 5-meter penalty shot or a 6-on-5 man up for the enemy team, but seemed to slip right out of his hands. Last couple seconds of the shot clock. Expect a shot soon. Oh, that's the shot they were looking for, the cross pass.
And they may just elect to. There's 3 seconds left. There's a shot knocked away by Blatt as the 30-second shot clock expires. And a timeout is going to be called again by the Chapman Panthers. That should be their second of the half, I believe, so we'll take one as well. 10-5 Air Force on top of Chapman. You're watching Air Force Water Polo. This is Falcon Vision.
There's nothing average about the Air Force Academy or those who come here.
It takes more than smarts and good grades.
It takes grit.
It's for the I never quit students, the relentless, persevering, most likely to keep trying until I reach my best students.
Because we will go on to lead others, push boundaries, save lives, and represent American ideals.
If you've got what it takes, prove it.
Start singing, Jeff.
62 seconds left to play in the first half as Bachman-Turner overdrive gave us taking care of business. Joe Sabo, I think the Falcons would like to do exactly that with about 59 seconds left to play here in the first half.
Great steal by Jacob Yee. Showing his hands right when the Chapman player was looking for the foul. So the ref did not give it to him. He was able to slip right inside, get the steal. Now there's a counter.
Let's see if Jacob is going to try to finish. He loses the ball. There's a lot of scrambling for it.
Great move. He kind of got bailed out on that one with the goalie coming out, looking like a steal for a second, but he was able to push the ball perfectly away to make sure they climbed over him enough to grab that penalty shot.
That'll be the first one of the match. And they shot the score.
Great shot. Number 20 rather, Bruce. Another freshman coming out big.
Bruce Kim.
Bruce Kim. Great lefty on our team. One of the more athletic people on the team, in fact.
They did not, and I think we can understand why Coach Brown did that. As you mentioned, you want to give your freshmen a lot of playing time, get them lathered up for the season. 29 seconds left to play here in the first half, and the Falcons with a Lead of 11-5 by my count. There it goes. Bruce Kim now getting credit for that goal. So the Falcons have a 6-goal lead with 14 seconds left to play in the first half. 6 seconds on the shot clock. And there's a shot and a score from inside.
It's unlucky. Number 15, White on Chapman, was able to draw the foul on the side, get that inside pass up and big to their set player to score it.
And that was Nate Randolph who gets the score for the Chapman Panthers. And we'll have 9 seconds, so we might just play the last 9 out of formality before we take a break. Do we have a timeout called? We sure do.
They're going to call a timeout, try to run a play very fast in the last 9 seconds. Does help to call a timeout, gets the players down there. So if you do have, 9, 10 in the teens or in the 20 seconds, it's a great way to capitalize on your last possession of the quarter.
So we'll set this up. And with 9 seconds, we'll just go ahead and keep it here at the Cadet Natatorium at the United States Air Force Academy. And see what they draw up on the old board here. Falcons, as we mentioned, a win today would put them 6-1 on the homestand. Make that 7-1, as we forgot about the most important game they played on Thursday. How could I have done that?
Speaking of the Navy game, Jeff, if you look up to the right, you could see the vase sitting in Coach's office right there for everyone to see.
Oh, yeah.
We're
Yeah, I
real
think that's
proud
going
of
to
that
sit
one.
That's going to sit there for a while.
364 days.
Roger that. So here we go. Let's see what the Falcons will do with 7 seconds left to play. They feed, right side, shot, and a score. Well, they drew up, it worked beautifully.
Nice shot by number 17, Joey Shell. Great left-hander on the team, a junior. He often doesn't see all the playing time he wants, but right there, he's showing that he deserves a little bit more.
Well, this is the first time I think we've had a chance to call Joey Shell's number. I had a chance to meet his sister last night, as a matter of fact. She's in the Army Reserve, so, sis, that's one's for you.
Great shot. He's a pretty good shooter as a lefty. Big contributor to the team.
Long shot, which probably will hit the diving platform, and
Grant
that is
Snyder
how we
was a 1A right there for some reason. I think that was because Grant Snyder on that timeout play, they came down to the 7-on-6. So at the last couple of seconds, he covered the goal.
All right, so we are at halftime as the Air Force Academy Falcons lead the Chapman Panthers by the score of 12-6. You're watching Air Force Water Polo. This is Falcon Vision.
C3C Joe Sabo, the Air Force water polo team at the Air Force Natatorium. This is the second half of Air Force versus Chapman. Air Force won the sprint.
Moving from our right to our left, Joe, thank you for the cover. We're going to recap some of the scoring here. Grant Snyder, Ian Christie, Jake Dixon, Colin Chase each with 2. Jackson Carter, Cole Copperwood, Joey Shell, Bruce Kim each with 1. And Lucas Smith has 3 saves, and you are now up to date. 12-6 is the score here as we move to period number 3.
Seemed to slip right out of the Chapman's player's hands, right into Ian Christie. You hate to see that, but also you love to see that as the Falcons, they get another free possession off.
Here's Grant Snyder. Right side. Wine fire. Oh, that one's off the cage.
Well, it is unfortunate that he did not make that off the cage. We got a new fresh 30. Full opportunity to work on our offense. Sliding right past number 6, Sam De La Cruz. Not a very good set pass, but now it is Air Force on defense.
Now let's see if the Panthers can take advantage. I'll tell you what, we mentioned that just prior to yesterday's game, they had a brand new ball that they were debuting.
Oh, wow.
And apparently it's supposedly better, a brand new ball. Joe, and you can comment on this. Apparently a new ball means a better grip. That doesn't seem to be the case here right now, though.
Yeah, you saw right there, I believe it was number 4
nice
on White.
Block.
The possession before, number 4 on White tried to turn number 2, Grant Snyder, but Grant just said, nah, that's my gig. Just stole it right from him.
Ben Black making a nice block for the Panthers in the goal. Falcons leading it by 6, but Chapman still playing tight. They will maintain possession. A little pressure by the defense. As Grant Snyder, they're going to try and force him to burn out the clock. There's a shot. Lucas says, I've got it.
Great block by Lucas.
Great block from our very own Lucas Smith.
Lucas had himself a pretty darn good weekend in replacement of A.J. Kuiper's concussion protocol is why you have not seen him in the last 2 games. And right now, status is uncertain and listed as questionable for the Rare Air Invitational next weekend. There's a shot and a score.
Great movement from number 2, Grant Snyder, popping it up to Sam De La Cruz, number 6. Those assists really coming into play on that 6-on-5 movement, popping up, giving that really high odd opportunity goal right there.
Sam De La Cruz getting into the scoring column. And for Sam, that's goal number 11. Have an exclusion, I believe, here for the Falcons, so the Chapman Panthers will have a man-up advantage. Can they take advantage? Lucas Smith says, we don't care. We'll knock it away for you.
Nice tip by him.
They get to reload. There's a shot and a score.
Quick shot by number 14. Not quite expected as it's off the possession start, but sometimes those rules in water polo change. We're right now off the possession start from the corner. He's live. He's able to shoot. Caught number 3, Dylan Sinclair, and number 1, 1A, Lucas Smith, a little bit sleeping on that possession there.
Everett Prusak will be the man that gets credit for the goal. He is one of the leading scorers for this Panther team. That's the first time we've had a chance to call his number, and now it makes it a 13-7 game as you see the time remaining in period number 3. They go down low. There's a shot. Did it break the plane? Yes, it did. But is it going to count?
They called an exclusion right before the shot. Everyone crashing down on number 5, Jake Dixon, still turning with all of his strength, getting that inside, putting it in the back of the net, but the exclusion was called before. That's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate for the Falcons. Technically got a goal there, but because the exclusion was called before, not a goal on that possession.
So, no goal, but no change in the lead, and let's see what we have here. We're going to get another timeout call? No, we are not.
I believe it's going to be a yellow card for somebody.
Yep.
White. Number 3, white for simulation. Chapman's coach seems to be a little upset with that. We've seen a lot of those calls this weekend. People trying to get the foul calls from bobbing their head, showing pain, and you turn out they're just putting up a
Jacob Bullock was a man that got called for the yellow.
Push off, offensive, gives Air Force the ball.
Well, I'm just wondering now, Joe, if maybe the Panthers are going to try and get a little bit more physical and see if they can force some things here.
Usually that type of thing happens after a yellow card is called, but it doesn't matter when number 7, David Brown, is streaking down the pool with the counter, putting the back of the net cross cage. He loves to do that back arch, reaching around the defender if there was one, and the goalie whipping it around with some velocity indeed.
David Brown, who is a sophomore from Chula Vista, California. And for David on the year,
another classmate of mine.
4th goal of the year.
Great guy, great player.
So it's a 14-7 match in favor of the United States Air Force Academy Falcons. 8 seconds left to go on the shot clock. There's a skip shot and it goes in.
David Brown covering the near side, really approaching him, trying to cover as much of the cage as he can, but unfortunately he puts it cross cage where Luka just barely doesn't manage to reach it, skipping right under his arm.
Daniel Cavish will get credit for that one, 14-8. I have him unofficially with 2 goals. I think he had one in the first half as well. 14-8 now in favor of the Falcons.
Big turn by Larson McCarroll, and a
Nice
goal.
shot.
Definitely the biggest guy on the team. He's a great contributor in set, really pulling other players down to make sure they address him and guard him in set. And in set defense, he's able to lock down some of the opponent's bigger guys.
He was one of our post-game guests. And it's now a 15-8 match in favor of the Air Force Academy Falcons. 2:34 left to play in period number 3. There's a shot punched out by Lucas Smith.
Great reach by Luka, making sure he locks down that cross cage. Oftentimes shot blockers help with the near side, so you don't need to address the near side as much. So that cross cage, that's all him, and you can see right there he really puts a hand in front of the ball.
All right, so the Panthers trying to close the gap a little bit.
It's going to be a direct shot maybe? Nope.
There's a shot. Nice field block, and I think Grant gets credit for that one. Grant
Indeed.
Snyder.
His long arms really help with the field blocking. It's really nice as a goalie to be sitting behind him when you know he has a good portion of the cage covered.
18 seconds, a sidearm shot. That's not going anywhere.
I heard another punch, so Bruce Kim right there with another shot block, I'd say. Great team defense by the Falcons, really making sure everyone's contributing and everyone is pulling up and pulling their weight.
Run the offense, run the offense. That's basically what the Falcons want to do right now, and give some more people a chance to get into the pool. The whole team basically has had a chance to play this tournament.
See, Larson McCarroll really locking off the near side at set. They're going to drive another person onto David Brown, a little smaller guy, to get a mismatch maybe, but Larson McCarroll really helping with that. They get another angle and a steal by Jake Dixon after a little scuffle. Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, Jake got the steal, Joe, and a little takedown. He went little takedown near the goal there. But with 48 seconds left to go.
This is a contact sport, so sometimes that does happen. Maybe some elbows, poke in the eye, punch to the gut, but Jake went through it all for the possession. And a timeout called by Air Force. They're going to look to capitalize on the last one or two possessions of the game.
And so with 38 seconds left to go in period number 3. We'll take a timeout as well. You see the score, Air Force leading 15-8. You are watching Air Force Water Polo. This is Falcon Vision.
Looks like this timeout's only 30 seconds.
Back once again at the Cadet Natatorium. Hope you enjoyed that brief break as we are 28 seconds away from closing out period number 3. Jeffrey Orman, Joe Sabo from the Natatorium. Nice block in there.
It was a great look by the offensive Falcons, but coming out from behind, Larson McCarroll got all tangled up. His shot was all mixed up.
Then Blatt with the block on that. They go down low. Backhander is good.
You hate to see those goals coming late in the quarter. Falcons definitely don't want to let that happen. A scramble, and that was a counter by Chapman, by the Chapman Panthers, and that was something their coach was talking about earlier in front of us, really pressuring the important players on defense and then countering fast, making sure to capitalize on Falcons' mistakes, just like right there.
Timeout has been called. Spencer Snow, by the way, will get credit for that last goal for the Chapman Panthers, and with 6 seconds left to play, Joe, we'll just go ahead and keep it here as Ryan Brown will give some instruction to the troops. The Rare Air Invitational will begin next weekend, and the Falcons will also be hosting the first game of the Western Water Polo Association as we get into conference play. Falcons will not go on the road until the 21st of October. They'll be heading out to La Jolla, and they'll be taking on the Tritons of San Diego University. How about that? You don't go on the road for almost a month.
That is pretty crazy. We did start the season with 2 long trips on the road, so we'll see how this next one turns out. But the Tritons, that was a great game last season. We're looking to bring that game back.
Harshly blocked, and that's how we close out the 3rd period. 15-9, Air Force on top. You're watching Air Force Water Polo. This is Falcon Vision. Getting ready to start the fourth and final quarter. Jeffrey Orman along with Joe Sabo. We have a change in the goal. Had 7 saves in the last match. And once again, the broadcast team will be represented. Luke Hughes back in.
My buddy. We were watching him warm up. He's looking pretty warm, especially after that last game only a couple hours ago. He came off real hot, making a lot of saves. Some mistakes, but you see that when you don't always get as many reps as some of the other goalies. But Luke he's a great spiritual force on our team as far as bringing the energy on the bench. And right now you could see him bringing the energy in the pool right now.
And the ball goes to Chapman. He is a second-classman out of Bountiful, Utah. Here is a long flip down in the left corner of the pool. And he will be challenged the first time, and this one goes to Chapman.
Saw Thomas Newell in set D really working his butt off to try to lock off that side, but the set offense was able to catch that, turn around, turn in for the cage.
Nate Randolph gets things going for the Panthers here in the fourth and final period. Makes a score now 15-10.
See Chapman really addressing the influence that Colin Chase, number 18, is putting on the team, dropping back, helping with set, because they know if it gets into set, Colin might and will probably turn that into a goal.
They're going to have to hurry. There's 5 seconds. 4 seconds, ball batted up in the air, and I think it's going to go to Chapman as the shot clock has expired. It would be irrelevant.
Air Force looking to help at set. There's a little bit of a mismatch in set. Now with Thomas Newell in set, our main set D right now, looking to lock off the set. A lot of water polo revolves around the set. What's going in on set?
There's a long bomb from well outside the 5-meter line. Boy, that was a
great shot. Real hard to cover down, especially when you don't have as much help. People dropping back, not always paying attention, not always putting their hand up.
Ryan Bauman with a shot. And it was a long distance range, and now it's a 4-goal game with 6:44 left to play in the fourth and final period.
Air Force is looking to clap back and get some goals right here. Widen the goal gap a little bit, give them a little bit more breathing room.
And 9 on the shot clock. They have a look. Now they flip to the right side. 5 seconds. Now it's getting to be urgency time, and that one drops right in front of the goalie.
See the 2 freshmen back, number 12, Thomas Newell, and number 11, not exactly paying attention to the counter. It opens up the counter a little bit.
That one's knocked away by Luke.
Luke seems a little confused by that. I didn't really see it hit the line either, but the referee saw it hit the line, turnover. It's not Luke's ball anymore, not the Falcons' ball. Still Chapman Panthers.
Trying to cut it now to 3 goals and now a turnover.
That's what happens when you have really good communication on defense, something we've been working on a lot, calling defenders back. When you see when the set defense feels like they're down, out of advantage, calling them back, making sure to lock off, get that steal often as it's coming in.
And Jacob getting very close to the goal, and now we have a whistle. It'll come back to Air Force.
Jacob was looking for exclusion there. Not exactly inside the zone, right in front of the cage where the referees often call an exclusion to the advantage.
Look by Jacob Yee. That is a field block. Comes right back to him. No, it should be reset. Yes, there we go. And there's a shot and a score.
That offense was not looking too good until we got that clock refresh and the set really opened up. Colin Chase pulling out, pushing back the defender with his strong legs, getting that assist from Jacob Yee with the great set pass, turning in and ripping into the back of the cage.
Colin Chase with his second goal of the match.
Some subs coming in. A couple older guys bringing more experience. You saw that play out as that goal difference started to lessen a little bit. That'll probably happen less and less as these players get more and more experience, as we're very much a growing young team. So you got some older guys out right now.
Jake Dixon is in the pool along with Ethan Smith among the changes. Some good pressure out the center line and a turnover, and the Falcons may have a chance to strike quickly.
Great
Here
effort
comes
by
David Brown.
David Brown.
Fires and he
That
hits.
was all David Brown right there, putting the great effort on the pressure defense, really showing how much the Chapman player was pushing off of him. You can't do that. Can't really hold him by the neck, hold him by the shoulders. You have to just stand your ground, and he was holding them back. Gives them a turnover, quick counter, and a goal.
That's his second of the day. 5:01 left to play in regulation. And you know, Joe, we've talked about it so much. Senior leadership, obviously very, very important. But I'll tell you what, with every passing game, as this one is in the corner, with every passing game, these underclassmen, especially the freshmen, learn a little bit more.
Indeed, indeed. It's really important to grow your roster like that.
It certainly is. 17-12 in favor of Air Force.
That last possession, unlucky, unfortunate exclusion on the outside. I didn't quite see it, but that led to a quick pass and a shot. Not very good odds for our goalie, Luke Hughes.
Once again, being another double team effort. There's a shot and a
Weight
score.
room right there. Number 17, Joey Shell, really powering it in and showing the strength of his shot. Despite the goalie still getting a hand on it, it went right past him, right under his arm.
And Joey Shell with his second goal of the match. 4:30 left to play in regulation. 18-12, Air Force is on top. Come off to the right side. Falcons may be coming
Great
from behind,
steal.
and there's a great steal. He got that,
Number
picked
19,
his pocket on that one.
Ethan Smith right there, another freshman. That's what happens when we have that really intricate and well-communicated splitting defense. Along with the pressure, the Chapman Panthers never know when we're coming.
Ethan Smith, he just flat picked him right there. 18-12, Falcons lead with 9 seconds left to go here on the shot clock. Now a turnover. That'll go
Not
to
a
the
very
Panthers.
good set pass right there, especially with the man
Got a
back.
2-on-1 here, and they may have a
One on nobody right here.
One-on-one.
Let's see Luke Hughes.
Luke,
Ah.
and he got it.
Unfortunate. Sometimes you get real lucky, or you get really smart with those one on nobodies. Those are sometimes fun, but when you get a lot of those, as a goalie, it's not too fun. Luke Hughes hasn't been getting too many of those this match. Defense putting up a great effort, swimming back to D, except for that one right there.
Justin Pack will get the credit for the goal for the Chapman Panthers. 3:40 left to go in the fourth quarter. Final game of the Rare Air Challenge.
Air Force moving around the perimeter pretty easily with the heavy drop from Chapman Panthers.
Skip shot, and
Ooh.
I thought that might have
That
broken
looked
the
like
plane,
it went
Joe.
in, but I think it hit the crossbar, bounced out maybe, not quite sure. And a great steal by Luke Hughes right there. He saw that come in, sliding past the Panther.
Tell you what, the big man came out of the cage and says, I've got this. Off to the right side. Let's see how the Falcons can convert. Transition game. Oh, ball got loose.
I don't know about
Panthers
that
have
one.
it.
That looked like a foul, but referees didn't want to give it to him.
And a timeout will be called by Chapman with 2:54 left to play in the fourth quarter. 18-13 Air Force. You're watching Air Force Water Polo. This is Falcon Vision. 2 minutes and 54 seconds left to play in the fourth and final quarter. I'm Jeffrey Orman along with Joe Sabo. Nice to have you with us here on a Sunday afternoon here at the Cadet Auditorium here at the United States Air Force Academy. Falcons with a 5-goal lead. Well, somebody let out a bit of a grunt there, and the turnover is going to go to Air Force.
Called a little bit of a push-off or something of the matter. Simulation, maybe. Something about the bench, yellow card by the referee.
Falcons like to just kind of close things out with a nice run.
Indeed. Chapman maybe getting a little chippy.
There's a punch out. 50-50 ball. Who's got it? And
Looks like Air Force. Nice. A little bit of a scuffle, but now we got another possession.
Then Blatt. There's a shot. That one
Up
is going to
again.
go off the cage. Another 50-50 ball, and this one will be a turnover to the Panthers. 18-13. Ryan Brown will be our guest in the post-game show, and the rest of the team will be dismissed for a post-game meal. And then it's back to business on the Hill tomorrow. Shot and a beauty from the corner.
It's a real hard shot to get a low corner bouncing in off the bar.
Andres Camangoli with the score. (18-14).
Minute 45 left. Not too likely Chapman rallies anywhere close enough to bring Air Force into overtime trouble, but it's up to Air Force to use their full possession. They seem to be wanting to get some exclusions, some more time on offense right here.
They wind, they fire, skip, shot, and it's in.
Number 10, Cole Copper, a great shot. Moving in, and when sometimes up down on the 6-on-5, or if they're just a man back double teaming another player, if they don't address you, got to shoot it. And he did, and he scored.
Cole Copperwood with 2 on the day, as the Falcons now lead it by the score of 19-14. And the
Offensive called on set. Chapman, number 8, White, climbing over Thomas Newell. Great job of him keeping his shoulders up, really showing how much the offensive player is climbing over him to get us another possession.
So the Falcons, which opened the homestand with a big win over Navy, 57 seconds away from closing out this portion of the homestand with a victory as well. There's a shot a little bit too hard.
Skipping off the water, way over the cage. Number 17, Joey Shell. Those skip shots, sometimes they look pretty, but sometimes it's better to just shoot it direct at the goalie.
Well, let's see
At
if
the
the
cage.
Leopards can put a little...
Good pressure block by number 1B, Luke Hughes right there.
Luke Hughes, 27 seconds,
Seems
25
Air Force is
seconds.
looking to get out of game.
This will be it. This will be the final touch. And the Falcons will just let it float out as the clock starts to expire. Falcons are going to win it by the score of 19-14.
Jeff, the scoreboard doesn't quite show it, but Falcons seemed pretty comfortable that whole game. Really making sure they rotated through pretty much their entire bench, giving everyone a little bit of time. Everyone, especially the newer guys, some more experience. It was a great game for the Falcons, really showing their dominance.
Have they put some time back on? They sure have. It's
Chapman
irrelevant,
is looking
really.
for another goal.
Just a desperation heave, and that is it. Now it is official. 19-14, the Falcons defeat the Chapman Panthers.
A little bit of a wild ending, but a great quarter for number 1B, Luke Hughes.
And a great confidence builder for that gentleman. Luke Hughes, Lucas Smith, my broadcast partner, Joe Sabo, all getting playing time this weekend. So the Falcons win it by the score of 19-14. Post game coming up with Ryan Brown. Joe, thank you again for
Thank you,
coming
Jeff.
up here and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right. Coming up next, Ryan Brown, as we'll talk about today's game and the tournament. You're watching Air Force Water Polo. This is Falcon Vision. And so the Air Force Academy Falcons win it 19-14 over the Chapman Panthers. Joining me is head coach Ryan Brown. Ryan, just kind of sum up the whole week. It started out with a very emotional win. You start the homestand off with a victory, and you end this portion of the homestand with one as well.
Yeah, the whole weekend was fantastic. The guys played great. We battled every single game. We stayed in it. We stuck to what we need to do and what we need to work on. And that's what we did all weekend. Just stuff we need to work on, we need to work on, we need to work on. And obviously the game versus Navy in front of the capacity crowd was awesome. Just awesome.
Indeed it was. And now for the Rare Air Challenge, you go 5-1. And you look back on that at that one loss, it was only a one-goal loss.
Absolutely. St. Francis is a great team, and we battled them back east to a one-goal game. We battled them here for a one-goal game. We had our chances. They're a great team. We had our chances. We got to do better.
All right, Coach, let's talk about that. You say you want to do better. Probably starts tomorrow on Monday at practice. What will you be stressing? What will you be emphasizing?
Same things we've been working on. So defense, knowing what's going on behind you, the extra pass, and 6-on-5. We got to get better.
I'll tell you what right now, I know the team has been dismissed for dinner. We are going to do likewise for you, Coach. Thank you so much for everything you've done for us this homestand, and we'll do it again next weekend.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jeffrey, and the entire crew. Really appreciate you guys being here.
Ryan Brown, the head coach of the Air Force Academy Falcons. A final word as we close things out. The Falcons now prepare for the Rare Air Invitational. We see some new schools coming in there. In the meantime, let us do this. Let's thank everybody who has been a part of this Falcon Vision crew for this very, very long weekend. A very special thanks to our sports information director for water polo, Nick Arseniak, who also doubled as a member of the Falcon Vision crew. The Rare Air Classic team, Brian German, Steve Cohen, Adam Drake, Brandon Idle, Tim Saratori, Marcus Rodriguez, Adam Parker, Adam Nacknick, Kurt Boddicker. A very special thanks to our two broadcast guests, our two guests for the commentary, Mike Kuipers and Joe Sabo. And so, folks, that's all there is. There ain't no more until we have the Rare Air Invitational next week here at the Cadet Natatorium. And so, from the United States Air Force Academy, the Cadet Natatorium, I'm Jeffrey Orman, bidding you all a very pleasant good afternoon.